Alright, what's going on, guys? So we just got the official overview trailer for Elden Ring Nightreign. Now we are now in the month that the game is going to be releasing, and I know many of you out there are like, well, we've already played the network test, we already know a ton about this game, I'm just ready to play it, and believe me, I feel you, I'm in the same boat. But, based on this trailer, there's a lot more to Elden Ring Nightreign than the network test would have had us believe, and this trailer revealed a ton of new info, and we're going to break down absolutely everything. So as we get started today, as always, if you want to stay up to date on all things Elden Ring and Fromsoftware, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and now let's get into it. The trailer begins by introducing us to how limb beld is going to work in the final game. And again, we played the network test. We understand the general gameplay loop of Elden Ring Nightreign. But that network test only had 2 seeds, only 2 variations of the first hunt. And right off the bat, we can already see a lot is different here, such as the Oracle Envoys and a completely different biome. It is absolutely not going to be the same thing every time like it was in the network test. You're not going to be able to get every run down, map out every possibility. I know people already developed meta strategies and routes back in the network test. That's not going to happen in the final game. And there's a lot of factors that go into that. Number one, based on how the world is laid out. It's going to be generated different every time, but that much is obvious by nature of the game. However, there are going to be a lot of unpredictable world events going on. Things that shake up the layout, shake up the way you play your game, and throw a wrench into your rhythm. We saw that a little bit in the network test with Margit, who, depending on one of the seeds, would invade you during your run. But the trailer begins highlighting new things that we're going to see in the final version. For example, this tornado that appears above this church. We don't yet have any details about it, but it seems to be cursing the land around it. But given the nature of the game, I'm sure we'll have to go fight something there and get a special reward. The trailer shows Margit's invasion again. We already talked about that, but look at what comes after. A meteorite comes falling from the sky and creates an impact crater, where of course, it looks like we'll be able to fight a falling star beast. That's going to be awesome when it happens in-game. And then goes on to show the volcano, which we had heard about and seen pictures of. This has a chance of appearing in your world and takes up a massive chunk of it, creating an entire new biome. We can of course see the fire monks and the fire prelates, and it looks like there's a lot of little different subsections of this on the interior as well. We can of course see a spirit tree where we can take the spirit hawk out of the volcano, thankfully. But since this looks like a much more risky area, I wonder if there's going to be any kind of reward distribution or a higher concentration of bosses to fight here as compared to a normal run, just to kind of give that risk reward factor. After this, we see the swamp biome, which is also going to be a big portion of the map should you roll that seed. But we had also seen clips and pictures of this before. We can see some ancestor guardians as well as a putrid avatar. But you may remember back in interviews they did state that you're not going to be getting poisoned while you're going through here. So thankfully that portion is not going to interrupt your run if you get this. We also see these orbs that spawn powerful enemies, as well as the little Eye of Sauron tower as a chance to appear, so you get the idea. In the final game, no 2 runs are going to be the same, and that's what's going to make it very fun to replay. Now the next few parts talk a lot about information we already know, that's very obvious, but there's still some really interesting things to see here, such as this. The Duke's Dear Freya from Dark Souls 2. Now we did know this boss was going to be in the game from an image they posted after the game's reveal, but it is really cool to see it actually in action. It still has that same signature beam attack, but this is a boss they're really going to have to try to get up to speed because Dark Souls 2 bosses were definitely not made to be fought with Nightreign type movement. But it does look like you're going to have to deal with spiders in this fight, so maybe that'll make up for it. But I want to directly move on to the 2 heroes that haven't gotten their full dedicated trailers yet, those 2 being Executor and Revenant. This trailer did give us quite a bit more gameplay of Executor. Nothing really new here though. We just see the same upward swipe that we've seen before, so we still don't know what Executor's ultimate attack is going to be. But you can see they do have Executor listed in the menu here, and I'm just going to be honest, that is by far the coolest design of the heroes. It looks like a lot of Crucible imagery going on with the bronze. You can see that the design on the helm is the same that's on Devonia's hammer. It just looks so cool. But like I said in the last video, I really hope Executor is a very high skill character to learn. That way, if you actually put the effort in to learn how to use it, the possibilities are endless. Also, I just get a lot of Yoshimitsu vibes. This definitely going to be the character that I'm picking up first and trying to master. Now, they didn't have Revenant listed among the 8, but we do get a lot of clips of her, at least in the roundtable hold, and she looks really cool too. Now, one thing that I did notice is that she appears to have a lot more color than what was shown in the concept art they revealed a few days ago. She looks a lot less like a doll here, but I do guess we're gonna have to wait a bit longer to get a full reveal trailer for her like we have for all the others. Next, they show off the roundtable hold, and we get our first look at the game's shop that we hadn't seen or heard much of anything about until now. So here we have our little jar bazaar where you can purchase relics, gestures, extra character relic slots, and we can see them buy this thing called a scenic floatstone, which gives them a bunch of random relics. But notably, the skins were missing from the shop, but instead we see this mirror. And this has me excited, man. We got this Artorias type variant of Wilder, different color variations for each of the characters, but then they show off actual full costumes, many iconic ones from the Dark Souls trilogy. And this right here was exactly what I wanted. I'm so glad they're doing this, but I hope you have to go through challenges to unlock them. For example, like what they show next, with the way you unlock lore for the characters. So the way this is going to work is you're going to start these little side missions that will activate many challenges to complete on your next run. And upon doing so, it will unlock special lore interactions back at the roundtable hold. Now we don't yet know the full extent of these. This Duchess one that we can see, she just kind of goes up and fights a few of these minor Erdtree Guardians, and then that says objective complete. I hope they end up being more in depth than that, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. Overall though, I think the idea is really cool. That breaks up the monotony and gives you something else to do. But for example, by completing Duchess's full backstory challenges, you unlock, say, a Lady Maria skin. I think that would be awesome. Or a Sekiro skin for Executor, Artorias for Wilder. You get the idea. I hope everything intertwines like that. But next up, they actually show us 3 new Nightlords. This frog goat thing from the original trailer, this poisonous gravity gaping dragon, and this centaur type knight who we had seen in pictures before. But one thing I noticed is that if you actually go back to the original trailer, the frog looking thing and the dragon were not Nightlords. In this clip here, you could see that it was just indeed a field boss. I wonder what changed there. Same thing goes for the frog goat. You can see it in an enemy camp. Were they always intended to be Nightlords, and is this classic Fromsoftware misdirection? I don't know. But it does seem like each one of these is going to have their own elemental gimmick. They do look really cool and powerful. I'm not going to lie, Gladius was a bit of a pushover. I hope the others are much harder, and I'm sure they will be, but I do like the designs a lot. However, that makes 4 out of 8 Nightlords that we now know of, 4 more that will be revealed in the final game. Some other things that you might have missed in this trailer. This clip of Estelle is very weird. You can see that you're finding him inside this Nox castle, and there's a fog gate that traps you in. So I do think there's going to be a big variation on the world when you get the one with the Nox theme. Likely as you get closer to understanding the full extent of the Nightlord, things are going to get much weirder. But they also gave Godric a buff. You can see he now has this big crucible tail attack. I'm very down for a Godric Prime fight. There's also a little clip of Revenant fighting, and you can see that she does indeed wield a weapon. But this is our first official look at what she actually looks like in game. We still don't see her abilities here, but again, it was leaked. Now, I know some of y'all out there are still sleeping on Nightreign. I don't know how you watch this trailer and not get hyped. I cannot wait for this game. Man, this looks so good. But anyways, that's pretty much everything new that we saw in this trailer. It was a lot of overview, a lot of recap of what we already know, especially if you played the network test. There's going to be a lot more information coming out later this week. People are going to get hands-on with the final game, so be on the lookout for that as well. Definitely be subscribed. I got a lot more Nightreign videos coming out soon. With all that though, let me know down in the comments how you're feeling about Nightreign, especially after this trailer. Leave a like if you enjoyed today's video, and I will catch you in the next one.